no, I think that Dallas is still in it. They've got their own issue over there playing wide receiver for them. So, they need to address that. There's no way, by the way, just on a tangent, there is no way that I would pay George Pickens. I wish I could buy him for what he's worth and sell him for what he thinks he's worth. There is no way I would invest a dime into that guy going on beyond this season.
So why is that, Stink? Because since he's been here in Dallas, everything we've heard is he's really been a good teammate and a good locker room guy for the most part.
Great. I saw him film his own slow motion movie on Thursday night. When he's not the target, when he's not involved, he's not interested. You can have that. You can't. You got to know the right guys, and sometimes you got to let go of really good guys because they're not the right guys. And I wouldn't invest 2 cents in that guy.
Whoa. Ouch. Take it easy. Take it easy. God damn. All right, man. Whew. That boy came out spicy, man. Hold on, man. Do I have that button still, man? Do I still have that button? Let me see. I don't. Ooh-wee. Hold on. God damn! Yeah. I was looking for that one. There it is. God damn. All right. So we gonna get right into this, man. And so listen, man, before we do, this stream is brought to you by Sleeper app. All right. And at the Sleeper app, you can go for a Hail Mary and Sleeper picks and win up to 100 times your money. Use promo code BCS, and Sleeper will 100% match your first deposit up to $100 instantly. Listen, so I'm going to be very balanced on what's going on because that was very deep and big what Mark said. Mark is somebody I respect too greatly. I think he has a good football mind. Most of his takes I almost always agree with. The funny thing about this one is you see something totally opposite from other analysts. You see something totally different from other analysts. So I'm going to feature that as well. So Steve Smith also spoke out on this Pickens situation. And he was the complete opposite. When I say complete opposite, complete. He was almost the exact other side of this. And he raised some points. So because I'm me and I think I do well at kind of breaking down the tea leaves, I think I can find a middle ground and explain why sometimes people see this totally different. So the one thing I'm gonna first say is that in everything there are different jurors. This is why our legal system is set up the way that it is that you're supposed to be judged by your peers, people that might look at your situation totally different, and they supposed to come to a consensus after they heard cross-examination from both sides. And that's what's happening right here. So this is the balance that I think is going on. When you hear something as wild as what Mark said is, man, I wouldn't give him 2 cents. It's like, wait. First of all, that's very strong. But why would he say something like that? In my honest to God opinion, I think it's a mentality of corners and receivers versus everybody else. I think the opinion on Pickens honestly varies based on where you played or where you coached. Being all the way honest. Because when it comes down to corners and receivers, I'm going to be all the way honest. They are judged according to a different standard than everybody else. They are. It's things corners and receivers can get away with effort-wise that you can't do nowhere else. See, when you're Mark and you played offensive line and you was drafted in the 10th round, everything about football is about grit, grind, play in, play out. You don't take a play off. That's not how you're wired. That's because that's his position. Because his road was hard. Being somebody who had to play and work himself into the league, he only sees the game one way, 100%. But see, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Corners and receivers, sometimes a lot of them can take a lot of plays off. And it's very frustrating to the Mark types. They just can't stand it. They hate looking at it because they didn't have the privilege of doing that when they played. It's not saying they're hating. It's just that they have a different wiring. And I'm just being honest. They have a different wiring. And then it's another thing that Steve Smith brought up that I thought was very interesting. He called Pickens a galloper. And so that's something that I came to around game 4 of game 5. So a lot of people watched the watch parties with us, and I was watching Pickens because on game 1, I was one of them that was on Pickens' head about effort and about how he was coming off the ball. And then I was watching him win, and I'm like, he winning big, but he still got this loaf type of run. It looked like he loafing. And Steve was like, nah, he's a galloper. And it took me to about game 4 or game 5 to see it, to where some weapons, they can run at full speed, but they don't look like it. They look like they not really hauling ass, but they actually hauling. So I was looking at Pickens, especially on them deep balls. I'm like, man, he look like he chilling. But then you'll look at him with the corner that he running next to, and you can see that corner clearly running while he look like he galloping. Just keeping it real. And so when you looking at a galloper to a guy who played offensive line, it looks lazy. It does. I'm just being all the way honest. It looks lazy, and it looked lazy to me. It did. And I put it like this. When people gotta talk about the difference between corners and receivers and everybody else, they go see this totally different. I'm talking about totally different. I remember we was talking about this game 1. Me, Coach Marv, Amp, a lot of people were talking about it. And we were talking about Pickens and his effort, because that was his worst effort game 1 to me, right? And we was talking about, what do you do? And my suggestion was get him involved. I said, get him involved, spam him the ball, get him involved early so he don't check out. And so he can get excited about playing and won't be second fiddle or feel like he's second fiddle behind CeeDee Lamb. Coach Maul said something totally different. He was like Mark. He said, we need to get rid of him. Talking about Pickens. I like, damn. But see, I respect it because Coach Marv played in the trenches and he coached. So them coaches like that who like, listen, you got to give it all every play. They not playing. You know, I think it's more along the lines of what Jerry said. Let me listen to Jerry and then we'll settle this whole debate. Listen.
At all.
Jerry, you know the reputation of the star receiver, and you've dealt with many in your day. We love Michael Irvin as well, T.O. and others. And you've talked about the Dez Jay-Z story. Can you help like set a baseline? I know it should never happen, but if someone's late or missing a meeting, like what do you think is acceptable in terms of that's going to happen versus over the line and needs to be addressed?
Great question. Great question. A necessary question too. You could also ask this question with effort too and playmaking.
Depends on the individual. And again, a lot of that has to do with, the type of competitor they are. Michael Irvin was just absolutely competitor at all times. He was always looking around the corner to figure out how to win. He worked with players from within to help them be better as a teammate. He was the entire package there, and it offset anything that you could have criticized him about. And
he said it offset anything. To me, that's the balance of this. Is you could have the overly righteous tone of Mark, or you could have the balanced tone of Jerry. And he was like, shoot, the value that Michael Irvin brought overshadowed everything else and all the other issues and demons that he dealt with. That's the answer I want from my owner, to be honest. Just to be all the way honest. I don't want you to get so caught up in the weeds of trying to have a perfect corporate player to where you miss out on the ultimate value of Pickens.
He had that as well. It's different strokes for different folks, so to speak, but Pickens brings everything to the table. He brings enough pluses to the table to, frankly, live with what's going on, this type of criticism. The criticism in my mind is he a competitor, and can he, when he gets out there, can he come down with the ball? And but does he compete when he's out there? A triple plus.
Perfect answer. So, I think Mark went a little bit too far, but I understand it. To say you wouldn't give him 2 cents, no, sir. I think that's that offensive lineman. I think that's that hard road that you had to walk to be who you are as a professional, as a man. I think that's the way he sees the game based on the position he played. And then you have people like Steve Smith, and he like, man, coming from knowledge. I know sometimes you got to come off the ball slow. Sometimes I know that really what's going on is you're a galloper. And he really broke it down by the film, did a great job of showing that if he really was checked out, he wouldn't have been trying to jump over people's heads. He went in depth on it. This also goes to say that sometimes, and just sometimes, very smart people and respected people can see the same thing totally different. I don't think it's up to any of us to overjudge any of these men and their opinions. I don't think it's up to us to judge Pickens too far as well. I think everybody needs to kind of take a step back and say, you know what? It's somewhere in the middle. And I want us to be more like Jerry. I want us to be more like Jerry, where we showing balance with this. And it's about the pluses far outweighing the minuses. And that's how I see it, like Jerry. So if you like this type of content, make sure that you hit that like and subscribe. Turn on your notifications. I'm getting ready to drop a whole lot more videos. Plus, I'm going to be going live later. I might be going live with Big. We trying to set that up. Also, make sure you like and subscribe as well on Facebook, because I'm dropping more content on there as well. It's your boy Boss Show Me, bringing you another one. Until another one. I'm out.